Krishna, Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Rama, Hare Rama, Rama Rama, Hare Hare, Hare Krishna, Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Rama, Hare Rama, Rama Rama, Hare Hare, Hare Krishna, Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Rama, Hare Rama, Rama Rama, Hare Hare, Hare Krishna, Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Rama, Hare Rama, Rama Rama, Hare Hare, Hare Krishna, Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Rama, Hare Rama, Rama Rama, Hare Hare, Hare Krishna, Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Rama, Hare Rama, Rama Rama, Hare Hare, Hare Krishna, Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Rama, Hare Rama, Rama Rama, Hare Hare, Hare Krishna, Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Rama, Hare Rama, Rama Rama, Hare Hare, Hare Krishna, Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Rama, Hare Rama, Rama Rama, Hare Hare, Hare Krishna, Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Rama, Hare Rama, Rama Rama, Hare Hare, Hare Krishna, Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Rama, Hare Rama, Rama Rama, Hare Hare, Hare Krishna, Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Rama, Hare Rama, Rama Rama, Hare Hare, Hare Krishna, Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Rama, Hare Rama, Rama Rama, Hare Hare, Hare Krishna, Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Rama, Hare Rama, Rama Rama, Hare Hare, Hare Krishna, Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Rama, Hare Rama, Rama Rama, Hare Hare, Jaya
Sri Srimad, His Divine Grace, Srila Charanarvin Bhaktivedanta Swami, Srila Prabhupada ki, Ananta Koti Vaishnava Vrinda ki, Skandiviti, Founder Acharya Divine Grace, Srila Prabhupada ki, Namacharya Srila Haridas Thakur ki, Prem se kaho Shri Krishna Chaitanya Prabhu Nityananda, Sri Advaita Gadadhar Sivasadi, Gaur Bhakta Vrinda ki, Shri Shri Radha Krishna Gopa Gopinath Shamakunda Radha Kunda Giri Govardhana ki, Shri Vrindavan Mitra Dham ki, Shri Dwarka Dham ki, Shri Jagannath Puri Dham ki, Shri Navadip Mayapur Dham ki, Shri Mayapur Chandra Mandir ki, Gangamayi Jamunamayi ki, Tulsi Devi Bhakti Devi ki, Harinam Sankirtan ki, Samavata Bhakti Vrinda ki, Transcendental Book Distribution ki, Jai Shri Sri Ganetai ki, Jai Shri Sri Jagannath Baladev Subhadra Devi ki, Jai Shri Krishna Balarama ki, Jai Shri Giri Govardhana ki, Jai Shri Sri Radha Madhava ki, Jai Nitai Gaura Premanande. All glorious to be assembled devotees, all glorious to be assembled devotees, all glorious to be assembled devotees, all glorious to Sri Guru and to Sri Gauranga, all glorious to Sri Prabhupada. Om Ajnanatimirandasya Gyananjana Salakaya Yakshurandalitam Jena Tasmai Sri Gurave Namaha Sri Chaitanya Manobhistam Stapitam Jena Bhutale Swayam Rupa Kadamahyam Dadati Swapadam Vandeham Sri Guru Sri Gita Padakamalam Sri Gurum Vaisnavam Scha Sri Rupam Sagrajatam Sahagana Raghunathan Vikam Tvam Sajivam Sadvaitam Sardutam Parijana Sahitam Krishna Chaitanya Devam Sri Radha Krishna Padam Sahagana Lalita Devi Sakanditam Sha Hare Krishna Karuna Sindhu Dinabandhu Jagatpate Gopisa Gopika Kanta Radha Kanta Namaste Tapta Kanchana Gaurangi Radhe Vrindavaneshwari Vrishabhanu Sutidevi Pranamami Hare Vanchakalpatarubhyasya Vipasindhubhyaeva cha Patitanam Pavebhyo Vaishnavebhyo Namo Namaha Narayanam Namaskritya Ram Chaiva Narotamam Devim Saraswatim Vyasam Tato Jayamudiraye. Before reciting the Srimad Bhagavatam, which is the very means of conquest, let us first offer respectful obeisances unto Narayana, Supreme Personality of Godhead, unto Narayan Rishi, the supremmost human being, unto Mother Saraswati, the goddess of learning, and unto Srila Vyasadeva, the author. Nasta prayasabhadreshu
Nasta Shobhadreshu
Nityam Bhagavata Sevaya
Nityam Bhagavata Sevaya
Bhagavati Utamashloke
Bhagavati Utamashloke
Bhaktir Bhavati Naistiki.
Bhaktir Bhati Nastiki.
By regularly hearing the Srimad Bhagavatam and by rendering a service unto the pure devotee, all that is troublesome within the heart becomes destroyed practically to nil, and loving devotional service unto the Supreme Lord, who is praised with transcendental songs, becomes established as an irrevocable fact. Idam Bhagavatam Nama
Idam Bhagavatam Nama
Puranam Brahma Samhitam
Puranam Brahma Shamitam
Uttama Charitam
Tamasloka Charitam
Chakara Bhagavan Rishi
Chikara Bhagavan Rishi
Nishreyasaya Lokasya
Nisayasa Lokasya
Dhanyam Swasyaya Namaha.
Dhanyam Swastyaya Namaha.
This Srimad Bhagavatam, known as the Grantaraj, the king of all Vedic literatures, is the literary incarnation of God. It is compiled by the incarnation of God, the Srila Vyasadeva. It is meant for the ultimate good of all people. It is all successful, all blissful, and all perfect. Sri Krishna Chaitanya
Sri Krishna Chaitanya
Prabhu Nityananda
Prabhu Nityananda
Sri Advaita Gadadhara
Sri Advaita Gadadhara
Sri Gaura Bhakta Vrinda
Sri Vashadi Gaur Bhakta Vrinda.
Hare Krishna Hare Krishna
Hare Krishna Hare Krishna
Krishna Krishna Hare Hare
Krishna Krishna Hare
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 Rama Hare Rama
Hare Rama Hare Rama
Rama Rama Hare Hare
Rama Rama Hare Hare.
Om Namo Bhagavate Vasudevaya
Om Namo Bhagavate Vasudevaya.
Om Namo Bhagavate Vasudevaya
Om Namo Bhagavate Vasudevaya.
Om Namo Bhagavate Vasudevaya
Om Namo Bhagavate Vasudevaya.
Om Surabhyaya Namaha
Om Shurabhyay Namaha.
Om Surabhyaya Namaha
Om Shurabhyay
Om Surabhyaya Namaha
Om Shurabhyay
Mukham karoti vasalam tvam rangayate Yatripatamaham bande Sri Gurum Dinataranam Yatripatamaham bande Sri Gurum Dinataranam. Hare Krishna. Today is the 22nd of February 2023. We're here in Srimad Mayapur, in an area still largely unknown that will that is being designated or called as Nandi Gram. Nandi Gram. We're in our small cottage, Bhakti Kutir, BRS Bhakti Kutir, and we apologize for the devotees for many days not having Bhagavatam class, at least not having. We've been having Bhagavatam class. Last 2 days, actually, I was not well, but we were not able to have the classes on aired. So somehow we're attempting this morning to do that. But we have been reading from the second canto. We're continuing. First chapter of the second canto. Which is entitled The First Step in God Realization. This is a ongoing conversation between Shukadeva Goswami and Parikshit Maharaj.
Text. Text.
Oh.
Cellphone Guru Maharaj.
Oh.
Cellphone Guru Maharaj. Cellphone.
Oh, okay. Okay. Yeah. Constantly having to make adjustments in the material world. To iPod. Yeah. You'll get the text in the iPod. Today's text actually is, as we mentioned, Canto number 2. Canto 2, chapter 1. At text 23. And database. Bhagavatam, Canto 2, chapter 1, 23. Shri Shuka Uvacha.
Shri Sukha Uvacha.
Jita Sano.
Jita Sano.
Jita.
Jita.
Swaso.
Swaso.
Jita.
Jita.
Sango.
Sango.
Jitendriyaha.
Jitendriyaha.
Stule.
Stule.
Bhagavato.
Bhagavato.
Rupe.
Rupe.
Manaha.
Manaha.
Sandharayad.
Sandarayad.
Dhiya.
Dhiya.
Shri Shuka Uvacha.
Shri Sukha Uvacha.
Jita Sano. Jita Swaso.
Jita Sano. Jita Shvaso.
Jita Sango Jitendriyaha.
Jita Sango Jitendriyaha.
Stule Bhagavato Rupe.
Stule Bhagavato Rupe.
Mana Sandharayat Dhiya.
Mana Sandarayad Dhiya.
Shri Shuka Uvacha.
Shri Sukha Uvacha.
Jita Sano Jita Swaso.
Jita Sano Jita Swaso.
Jita Sango Jitendriyaha.
Jita Sango Jitendriyaha.
Stule Bhagavato Rupe.
Stule Bhagavato Rupe.
Mana Sandharayat Dhiya.
Mana Sandarayad Dhiya.
Shri Shuka Uvacha.
Shri Sukha Uvacha.
Jita Sano Jita Swaso.
Jita Sano Jita Swaso.
Jita Sango Jitendriyaha.
Jita Sango Jitendriyaha.
Stule Bhagavato Rupe.
Stule Bhagavato Rupe.
Mana Sandharayat Dhiya.
Mana Sandarayad Dhiya. Shri Sukha Uvacha.
Shri Shuka Uvacha.
Jita Sano Jita Swaso.
Jita Sano Jita Swaso.
Jita Sango Jitendriya.
Jita Sango Jitendriyaha.
Stule Bhagavato Rupe.
Stule Bhagavato Rupe.
Mana Sandarayad Dhiya.
Mana Sandharayat Dhiya. Shri Shuka Uvacha.
Shri Sukha Uvacha.
Shukadeva Goswami said,
Sukadeva Goswami said,
Jita Asanaha.
Jita Asanaha.
Controlled sitting posture.
Controlled sitting posture.
Jita Swasaha.
Jita Swasaha.
Controlled breathing process.
Controlled breathing process.
Jita Sangaha.
Jita Sangaha.
Controlled association.
Control association.
Jita Indriyaha.
Jita Indriya.
Controlled senses.
Control senses.
Stule.
Stule.
In the gross body. In the gross matter.
In the gross matter.
Yeah. Bhagavataha.
Bhagavataha.
Unto the personality of Godhead.
Unto the personality of Godhead.
Hare Krishna.
Hare Krishna.
Looking for a home, making nest. unto the personality of Godhead,
unto the personality of Godhead,
Rupe,
Rupe,
in the feature of,
in the
feature,
feature,
Manaha,
Manaha,
the mind,
the mind,
Sandharayat,
Sandarayat,
must apply,
must apply,
Dhiya,
Dhiya,
by intelligence.
by intelligence.
Translation and purport by Divine Grace A.C. Bhaktivedanta Swami Srila Prabhupada ki.
Jai.
Shukadeva Goswami answered, one should control the sitting posture, regulate the breathing process by the yogic pranayama, and thus control the mind and senses, and with intelligence apply the mind in the gross potencies of the Lord, called the Virat Rupa. Kind of repeat after me. Shukadeva Goswami answered,
Sukadeva Goswami answered,
one should control
the
sitting posture,
sitting posture,
regulate
regulate
the breathing process
the breathing process
by the yogic
pranayama,
and thus control the mind
and thus control the mind
and senses,
and
with intelligence apply the mind to the gross potencies
of the Lord,
called the Virat Rupa.
called the Virat Rupa.
So before reading the purport, we'll just read the previous verse, which is the question being asked by Parikshit Maharaj, to which today's verse is the answer. So text 22, just reading the translation. The fortunate king Parikshit, inquiring further, said, O Brahmana, he's addressing Shukadeva Goswami, O Brahmana, please describe in full detail how and where the mind has to be applied, and how the conception can be fixed so that the dirty things in a person's mind can be removed. Support to our so in answer, I'll just read the text. In answer to this, Shukadeva Goswami answered, one should control the sitting posture, regulate the breathing process by the yogic pranayama, and thus control the mind and senses, and with intelligence apply the mind to the gross potencies of the Lord, called the Virat Rupa. Purport. The materially absorbed mind of the conditioned soul does not allow him to transcend the limit of the bodily conception of self. And thus the yoga system for meditation, in brackets, controlling the sitting posture and breathing process and fixing the mind upon the Supreme, is prescribed in order to mold the character of the gross materialists. Unless such materialists are able to cleanse the materially absorbed mind, it is impossible for them to concentrate upon thoughts of transcendence. And to do so, one may fix one's mind on the gross material or external feature of the Lord. The different parts of the gigantic form of the Lord are described in the following verses that will be coming up in the next few days. The materialistic men are very anxious to have some mystic powers as a result of such a controlling process. But the real purpose of yogic regulations is to eradicate the accumulated dirty things like lust, anger, avarice, and all such material contaminations. If the mystic yogi is diverted by the accompanying feats of mystic control, then his mission of yogic success is a failure, because the ultimate aim is God realization. He is therefore recommended to fix his gross materialistic mind by different conceptions, and thus realize the potency of the Lord. As soon as the potencies are understood to be instrumental manifestations of the transcendence, one automatically advances to the next step, and gradually the stage of full realization becomes possible for him. Translation once again. Shukadeva Goswami answered, one should control the sitting posture, regulate the breathing process by the yogic pranayama, and then control the mind and senses, and with intelligence by the mind to the gross potencies of the Lord, called the Virat Rupa. So, we should not misunderstanding that we should not misunderstand, or we should not have the misunderstanding that Shukadeva Goswami is recommending the Astanga Yoga process as the ultimate process for self-realization. The point being made, which is quite interesting actually, is that generally for most people, because the mind is too much materially contaminated, with a materially contaminated mind, we cannot immediately appreciate matters of a transcendental nature. So for those especially who are very, very much contaminated materially, whose mind is full of what is called anarthas, Srinvatam Swakata Krishna Punya Sravana Kirtana Viyantasto Yabadrani Abadras, unwanted dirty things within the mind. This is recommended. It's a major theme actually, which is quite interesting, which can be summarized very simply as follows. To appreciate the Creator, one to more easily appreciate the Creator, they're chanting Vedic hymns. To more easily appreciate, for the vast majority of people, to more easily appreciate the creation, or the Creator rather, one should appreciate, one should learn to appreciate the creation. One should learn to appreciate, is mentioned here, the gross stule. Stule is translated in the gross matter. Means the Bahiranga Shakti, external energy of the Lord, which is extraordinary, which is also mentioned by Srila Prabhupada in translating the text, making reference to the Virat Rupa. This material, this body is a sample of the Virat Rupa. This body is in many ways complete, but of course only very, very, very insignificant manifestation of the undescribable, unimaginable, super extraordinary potencies, material potencies. Krishna has all these material potencies that every single day, every morning, from early morning, we can observe, we can see, we can begin to appreciate. If such extraordinary material potency is there, how much greater are the spiritual transcendental potencies of the Lord, which is totally beyond our capacity to understand, especially in our conditioned state, and even in our liberated state, one never fully will be able to understand the glorious nature and potencies of the Lord. So, Shukadeva Goswami therefore is giving this instruction that there is a standard process that involves controlling the mind, that involves controlling the senses, that involves controlling the breathing process, by which, of course, the mind will become more peaceful. Evam prasanamanaso. Only those who are in the mode of goodness can actually practice this yoga properly. Those who are therefore following some type of regulation to come to the mode of goodness, or to be situated in the mode of goodness, means to be regulated. To be regulated in our thinking, feeling, and willing, to be regulated in our in our thought process, in our through our senses, and this helps to gradually eliminate the impurities. Our impurities, we carry these impurities life after life. They're all manifest, they're all existing within the mind, and they become manifest actually birth after birth through the different bodies that we are forced to accept by material nature. So we can make an interesting link here between this need, again, for the vast majority of persons, because of our having been in the material world for so many lifetimes that we cannot imagine, and therefore we have this accumulated luggage called karma, which is full of yet unfulfilled desires. And therefore we're forced to take different bodies so as to fulfill these different desires and others. So the comparison, actually, interesting comparison to be made. In a similar way, majority of people can benefit immensely by practicing this type of yoga, although it is not the recommended yoga practice in this age of Kali, but can be helpful. It is not unauthorized. Yoga practice is a standard, very scientific process which can give benefit and can help many individuals become regulated and by some good fortune come in contact with the highest level or manifestation of yoga, which is bhakti, of course, bhakti yoga. So Astanga yoga is helpful in many ways. The point I wanted to make is that in a similar way, although we should take up to the process of bhakti, and that is the highest and perfectional level of yoga practice. But because bhakti, pure devotional service is also not so easily realized, not so easily performed, it is described by Srila Rupa Goswami in the Nectar of Devotion as being very rarely achieved. Therefore, until and unless one has completely been washed from all types of contamination, the Lord has also, similar to this yoga practice, has given us a framework, you could call it a framework, or a system, social system, Actually, we're speaking about Varnasrama. The Varnasrama system, all the material, just like the Astanga Yoga is a material process, material system. But there are authorized systems, and one can derive benefit. Of course, our founder, Acharya Srila Prabhupada, he made quite heavy statements, very clear statements regarding the in the context of Varnasrama, explaining how for us to more easily, more quickly reach the level of bhakti or to become Vaishnava. His specific instruction, Prabhupada's specific instruction was that in order to become Vaishnava, one should actually apply or work within the system of Varna and Ashrama. One should follow the scientific process created by the Supreme Lord Himself. Just like a Sangha Yoga is created by Krishna. All forms of yoga ultimately are created by Krishna. And therefore the importance of the Varnashrama system, which in many ways is very much actually connected with the instruction being given here by Srila Shukadeva Goswami, who is mentioning that for those who are still not fully purified, it's collaborated also and supported by our various acharyas, our various Vaishnava acharyas, beginning with Srila Bhaktivinoda Thakur, Srila Bhakti Siddhanta Saraswati Thakur, and our own founder Acharya Srila Prabhupada, that one should, what is also mentioned here actually with intelligence, 2 points, being regulated, and there's different levels. When we speak of Atma, gross body is Atma. Mind, also Atma. Soul, Atma. So we learn to control our senses. We learn to control our mind with the help of these processes that are recommended in the Shastra. And these processes will help us to reach the ultimate goal, which is to actually develop affinity, attraction for transcendence, spiritual, for spirituality, spiritual practices. So this is a subject matter that would need more discussion, but these are a few thoughts. You can just read again the verse by the answer given here by Shukadeva Goswami. Shukadeva Goswami answered, one should control the sitting posture, regulate the breathing process by the yogic pranayama, and thus control the mind and senses, and with intelligence. Yeah. So there is mind, higher than the mind, higher self, controlling the lower self. This is the whole idea. Controlling the lower self by the higher self. We control the material senses, which are the lower self, by the mind, which is higher self than the senses. And we control the mind by the higher self of the intelligence. Then there's spiritual intelligence that is higher than material intelligence. That spiritual intelligence is what is given to us in Shastra, both Bhagavad Gita and Srimad Bhagavatam. That is what is called Param. That is nicely instructed. Param bhuya pravakshyami jnanam jnanam uttamam. Chapter 14, text number 1. Param bhuya pravakshyami. This is Supreme Personality of Godhead speaking. Jnanam jnanam uttamam yad gyatva munaya sarve param siddhim ito gataha. To reach this param siddhim, transcendental perfection, one needs to cultivate this knowledge. The translation to that verse, chapter 14, text 1. The Supreme Personality of Godhead said, again I shall declare to you the supreme wisdom, the best of all knowledge, knowing which all the sages have attained the supreme perfection. And in the very next verse, idam jnanam, by this knowledge, upasritya, by taking shelter, by adopting this knowledge, by taking shelter of this knowledge, mama sadharnyam agataha. Mama sadharnyam agataha. One will attain my same nature. Agataha means to attain. To attain. Mama sadharnyam. We will attain the same nature of the Lord, which is, of course, a transcendental nature. So we will go on down. Jai Granthara Srimad Bhagavatam ki Jai Sri Prabhupada ki Gauda Pimanande.